Aloha my kako and welcome back to another book review. I am Mama Kitty and today we are going to be reviewing Toxic by Nicole Blanchard. This is a dark romance. A dark, dark romance. It's so dark you might need a flashlight kind of romance. Definitely a spicy read. So buckle up, hold on tight, and let's get into it. The Goodreads synopsis is as follows. The Joker meets haunting Adeline in this dark, forbidden romance where a prison nurse is caught in a dangerous web of obsession with her ruthless psychopath patient. My life has been a series of bad decisions. Marrying an abusive man was the first, but falling for a dangerous inmate while I'm a nurse may be the worst. He's brutal, heartless, and twisted, but he's also the only one to notice the bruises on my skin. His forbidden touch becomes my addiction. His drugging kisses my obsession. After I learn the truth about why he's in prison, I try to escape, but he finds me. Now I'm his prisoner. Toxic is a standalone dark romance featuring a pierced, morally gray antihero with Joker energy, obsessive touch-her-and-die protectiveness, and a dangerous cat-and-mouse dynamic with the prison nurse he refuses to let go. It contains explicit sexual content, and a full list of trigger warnings can be found at the beginning of the book. So, yeah, that's what I read. Alrighty. So, I liked it. I liked it kind of a lot. It was sort of like, I don't know, I didn't quite realize what I was getting into until I was sort of like knee deep into it. And like starting the book with a really impassionate sex scene was definitely a really bold choice that I sort of actually really appreciated, because it sort of set me up to be a little bit less surprised by some of the events that happened later. And now, like, don't get me wrong, of course I never was surprised, right? There were definitely some whoa moments and wow moments and oh my god, I'm gonna throw this book across the room moments, but I just felt like a little more prepared. That being said, I know the synopsis says that there were trigger warnings in the beginning of the book, but I pulled mine out to kind of prove to you that there was not. So we have, the first page, and then turning, we have the the copyright stuff, the dedication, which is kind of fun and lovely. If you don't know what it says to all the good girls who want to be nailed by a psychopath. Fair. There's a blank page, and then the chapter stuff, right? Table of contents, blank page, and then boom, chapter 1. So I don't know if this copy just missed that page, right? Like if Amazon missed a page on my copy, but there definitely are not trigger warnings in that copy of the book. So kind of with that in mind, I want to relay to you sort of a list of what I think maybe are good trigger warnings, just so that I'm not like leading anybody in blind. The big ones there are marital rape, torture, and very violent domestic abuse. This next bit is a bit spoilery, so if you want to avoid that, you can go to this time. But for those of you who care about these kinds of things, I do want to let you know as well that there is pregnancy and there is loss of pregnancy. With all that out in the open and ready for you to receive or not, let's get into the characters. So we have Tessa, our leading lady, our battered prison nurse. We have Vic, the abusive prison warden husband. And then we have King, our very dangerous, sexy inmate. So, basically from the moment we meet this man, we know he's the love interest, right? He's sexy, he's dangerous, he makes our blood run cold and race at the same time. He's very, very into Tessa, which, I was kind of getting he's totally obsessed with her fix, but it was also one of those things where I was very cautious of investing too much, energy into him. He is an inmate after all, right? So like, what if he's just a really good actor? I did like him though. In the only on page, but I'd rather die than let someone treat me that way in real life kind of way. You know what I mean? But he was giving like mob boss, and I was super into it. Like, zero regrets. Vic, on the other hand, I hated from page 1, which I think was kind of the point, right? He's our abuser. And there's not a lot to say about him, mostly because he was sort of the tool that King was able to use to get closer to Tessa, right, and brought them together. That was his point. That was his purpose, I suppose, in the novel. And I also just didn't. As far as the review goes, I don't want to spend too much energy on him and his shitty, abusive ways. He was really awful, really terrible, and I think he definitely got what he deserved. Okay, so our leading lady, Tessa. Honestly, I don't really know what to say. Aside from the fact that I really kind of liked her character arc. She starts the book, sort of accepting, I suppose, her place in life, which I guess, at least from my own personal experience with domestic violence, that is relatively realistic, right? And it's the whole, well, if I don't make him mad, then he won't do anything, and if I, yada yada yada, all the things we tell ourselves, to really make it through. But yeah, well, so I mean, it was classic abuse, right? Vic, he isolated her. He had people watching her, right, at work generally, and she just didn't have anyone and didn't have anywhere to go. Thankfully, we find out a little bit later that there are people within the prison system that did notice what was happening, and while they didn't say anything at the time, because, again, probably because Vic was the prison warden, they did end up coming through in the end, which is something I appreciated. I actually really liked Tessa's timeline, right? She kind of starts off as this timid, battered housewife sort of situation to becoming a really, really badass stabby lady. How does such a change happen? You'll have to go in and read the book, because it's kind of a really big spoiler to even hint at how and why she ended up changing the way she did. So I'm not gonna say anything. My only gripe with the book was that I kind of felt like Tessa and King's relationship was a little rushed, but I do acknowledge that was probably the intent. The whirlwind of a new life that Tessa tries to build for herself is really just kind of swept away by King, and he is very unapologetic about it. But there were a couple, like literally maybe a couple of moments that were really kind of genuinely beautiful between them, and it was those moments that really, I think, humanized King for us. I was sort of cautious about King as the love interest, like I said earlier, right? But I kind of was suspicious of him all the way until really the end of the book. I just kind of kept having that feeling that he was going to disappear on her, right? That she was going to get better and he was just going to be like, deuces, and drop her off in some fucking motel and piss off. Spoiler, he didn't. Overall, again, I really liked it. It was honestly kind of a lot of fun. Messed up? Absolutely. Entertaining? Very much so. A little scarring? Yeah. I would recommend it, honestly. But really, kind of exactly like what the synopsis said, really only to people who liked books like Haunting Adeline. I think it is really intense. So definitely go into it with your mental protected. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It had me gasping out loud. It had me shocked into silence. And I'm, again, pretty sure I threw it across the room at least one time, although I wouldn't be able to tell you why. And it was just... It was delightful. So if that's something that interests you, I definitely think you should read it. And if you do read it, please let me know in the comments so we can, chat about it. But so that's that for Toxic by Nicole Blanchard. The next book we're going to be reviewing is Wolf Song by TJ Klune. I probably will be reviewing the entire of the Green Creek series. I'm really enjoying Wolf Song at this time. It is just a joy to be reading. I've had moments already where I was like, this book is funny as fuck, and then very quickly it's like, oh, this is not funny no more. So if that's something that you're interested in seeing, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell so you know when that video is out, and I will see you all on the next one. Mwah! Bye!